But do you see other fighters in Asia because they're based in Asia and one is blowing up and there's, other promotions? Is UFC kind of seen like in the background now? Like they
No,
don't
no,
even
no. I
go to
mean,
be on UFC?
I think it entirely depends on the fighter. I mean, one does a fantastic job. I fought for one. I had 3 fights with one a few years back. Um, but one does have a lot of shows in Asia. But yeah, I do believe that UFC is the biggest promotion. And I believe that UFC is the Super Bowl of MMA. So it's always been in the back of my head, and it's always been a goal of mine. And I'm super happy to be here.
But do you find other fighters that go? You look at them, it's kind of like actors, like here in LA, right? Some of them are dreamy eyed, so they want to be like big motion picture. But if I'm an actor and I look at another actor, buddy, you're cool with doing like theaters and like Colgate commercials. Do you look or do you find other fighters in Asia? They're like, no, I'm good. I'm good with URCC. I'm good with one. I'm cool, man. I don't need to be on UFC. Do you
I
find a
mean,
lot of them?
we all wanna perform at the very top level for sure.
So play at the NBA.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
man. We're all working really hard, and but this is a brutal fight game, man, and you're only as good as your last fight, and there's definitely some luck and timing involved, and all sorts of things. Like, I mean, who would have thought that I would get my UFC opportunity in the middle of the COVID pandemic, for example, and that I would come, that I would fly over from the Philippines, and that I would, you know, get a fight on 10 days notice after being in Vegas for 10 days, and I get COVID, and then, it's just a wild ride, man. MMA is a wild ride, but that's part of what makes it so exciting. It's the most exciting sport in the world, in my opinion.
Right. And I also feel one of the layers that I do want to share with the listening audience is, I mean, you've been in the game for a minute, bro, for a while, and you kept going, and now you're in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? You're in the big league. And I think it's important for my audience and the UFC audience to know, like, hey man, this motherfucker put in his time. He lived in Asia, and like what we're going through the interview is like he could have been distracted. You could have just stuck to modeling. You could have stuck to being in Japan, or you could have said, you know what, I'm just gonna be a PE teacher, yo. Baguio, I'm cool. I'm cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Which
I think, yeah, I always, I'm a stubborn guy, man. I'm a stubborn guy, and once I set my mind on something, I want to do it. And, you know, um, that's exactly what happened in MMA. Just kept pushing and just kept pushing, and just, taking every opportunity I could, like this sambo opportunity, this combat sambo opportunity came up, for example, last year. And I'm like, huh? Combat sambo? Oh, that's that Russian fighting sport with the gi, right? And the shorts. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll try it. I get to represent the Philippines in Manila in the Southeast Asian Games, like how could I say no to a crazy opportunity like that, So um that's part of life, I think, just being open, taking chances, and seizing every opportunity.
how was the Sea Games ran, by the way? Was it professionally ran,
Oh,
or
absolutely, absolutely, yeah. The Sea
you don't
Games,
have like
they have
balut vendors on the side and quack quack vendors on the side, fucking right next to
right
the guy
outside the
wrapping you
venue.
up and shit?
No, no, no. Philippines, they did a great job, actually. They pulled it all together, and it was great, man. Um, yeah, the Sea Games, the Southeast Asian Games is every 2 years. I think the next one is in Jakarta, and yeah, the Sea Games were great, man. We had a crazy opening ceremony. That was awesome.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah, at the Philippine, I forget the official name of the arena, but it's a little outside Manila. But yeah, huge, huge arena, huge venue, um, just beautiful opening ceremony. I think it was like 10 days, 2 weeks of games, with all these different venues and different arenas for each sport. Some of them were in Pampanga, some of them were in Manila, and then of course the closing ceremony, which was awesome, man. So yeah, I'm super. super fortunate and happy to have been a part of it, man. That was definitely a once in a lifetime opportunity, not just to be part of the Philippine national team, but to actually represent the Philippines and be part of the team in Manila. You know, the fact that we hosted it,
Sure.
you know, while I'm in my prime as an athlete, you know, that was definitely special.
Did you learn anything about yourself in the 10 years living in Southeast Asia, especially specifically in, the heat south of the Ecuador, Manila? I mean, it's a lot to
Yeah,
think about.
yeah, yeah.
Not to go societal on you or anything, but
I mean, learning about, yeah, I mean, like anybody, man. I grew up a lot in college and in my 20s, and um, I lived. I moved to the Philippines from Tokyo, and I was pretty much on my own. Like how I ended up moving to the Philippines from Tokyo was that I got a URCC fight offer in Baguio, where I live, where my family is, and my wife and my kids are there now. So I got a URCC fight offer, main event in Baguio. I don't remember. This must have been like 2011 or something. And I'd never been to Baguio. I'd been to the Philippines, of course, because my mom is Filipina, and you know, we'd go there every year for vacations and whatnot, and fly there from Tokyo. But I got this opportunity to go to Baguio. I'd never even heard of Baguio before, so I Googled it. And I found out that it was the vacation capital of the Philippines. They call it, hey, what's up?
all
They
good,
call
all
it
good.
the city of pines, and it's in the mountains, you know. So unlike the rest of Manila, when you think of the Philippines, obviously you think of the tropics, and you think of, you know, you think of beaches, and you think of humidity, and you think of Manila. But
Chicks.
Baguio is chicks for some people. Yes, yes. You know, and then yeah, Baguio in the mountains, and it's super cool. There's a rolling fog going through. It's 5,000 feet above sea level. It's where Manny Pacquiao used to do all of his the start of all of his fight camps before his big fights, like De La Hoya, Mosley. Um, so
For
yeah, I got
altitude
this.
training, right? For the listening audience,
Yes,
it's like
yes, yes,
altitude
yes.
training in Denver.
Exactly. It's the same reason why some people go to Big Bear for boxing or for
Big Bear,
MMA.
there you
Why
go.
people go to Big Bear, Cali to train. So Manny Pacquiao would go up to Baguio to train. So it's 5,000 feet above sea level, and I got offered a fight in the URCC to fight there. And yeah, I took the fight. I flew in like a week early, just to get acclimated and try to get my lungs to adjust. And yeah, I fell in love with the city, man. I won the fight. I went back to Japan after that because I had a round trip flight, of course, you know. And then I was like, no, I want to go back. I really like the city, so I went back. I I based myself there, and it wasn't long after that I met my wife, and yeah, started the family.
And your family's still there, you mentioned, right?
Yeah, yeah, my family's still there. My wife, her family, they own a Christian school, a private Christian school there called Christian Legacy Academy. It's in Baguio, and my parents were teaching in Japan in Tokyo, and then they moved to Baguio actually, and they retired in Baguio, so they're in Baguio as well right now. So my
The-
wife, my parents, and her family, they're all in Baguio.
So for the, for everyone, Baguio is like so serene and beautiful, right? This is more like a local question to you. Were there a lot of people pissed off when they produced like a mall up there?
Oh, SM.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. There were actually, well, SM, you know, for the people that aren't familiar, SM, it's like the biggest mall chain in the Philippines. It's called SM. And yeah, definitely when the mall came in, it did change things. They had to cut down a lot of, I mean, it's called the City of Pines. So a lot of pine trees disappeared, you know, for parking lot space and whatnot. Um, and yeah, the city has changed over the years, even since I got there, almost 10 years ago. It's changed a lot because there's a new expressway from Manila to Baguio, so it's a lot easier to get there now. And a lot of people, they want to go up to the mountains, you know, during the holidays and experience the cool air, you know, and get a cabin in the woods kind of thing. So yeah, it's changed a lot, but it's still a beautiful city, and it's my home right now. So
Was there any cross training with Team Lakai?
I trained with them a few times, but not too many. Yeah, they're all good guys, man, and I got a lot of respect for them though, for sure.
And which team are you with now?
I'm with Alliance in Manila. So with Brandon Vera, Coach Castro is my head coach in the Philippines, my head coach, and it's too bad that this COVID thing hit, you know, as it has been with so many people, because Alliance MMA was gonna open in Quezon City, and it was gonna, yeah, brand spanking, beautiful new gym, great equipment, everything, lots of open space, and it was gonna open like a month, scheduled to open like a month after the quarantine started. So it was just really unfortunate timing, and you know, I was gonna teach there and train there and coach there, teach some classes. But I also train at a few other gyms in Manila. So right now I do most of my training in Manila. But when I go up to Baguio, it's to spend time with the family.
Now, is that the same alliance with like Fabio Giorgel and like the
This is
Jiu-Jitsu
this is
alliance?
Alliance MMA from San Diego.
Okay, so
So
there's a Lloyd Irvin.
this is Dominic Cruz Alliance.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, because Brandon Vera and Coach Castro, they moved over to the Philippines a few years back, and they wanted to build alliance in the Philippines.
Yeah, I never know where Brandon Vera is because sometimes he's in Guam doing the Guam thing.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
he flies regularly from the Philippines to Guam.
right? Because I think his wife is half Guamanian.
I believe so. Yes, yes,
She's Islandesian, Polynesian somehow.
yes,
It's
yes.
still coconut picking culture either way. You know, but yeah, I mean, I feel like there's one thing I also wanted to talk to you about. Um, I think that there's a lot of substance behind your story, but this is one thing I noticed after living in the Philippines for like 5 years, caring for my parents. There's a big martial art slash food scene, like the food
Slash like half
grappler.
martial arts, half food.
Well,
Like
there's a lot of people who train in
together.
jujitsu and then they post goddamn so many food pictures.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually,
Don't
yeah. I know.
is
I
that
know
an
one of
Asian
those
thing?
guys. Yeah, my friend is one of those guys. It's funny. My friend Franco is one of those guys.
Food grappler, I think, or
That
is it food grappler? Like his website,
I'm not. Maybe it is actually. I'm not sure, but or
something
maybe
like
that's
that.
another one because I guess quite a lot of people are doing it. But yeah, man, I can relate because food. Well, training and like training to such an extreme in any sport, like you get hungry after, man. So you learn to appreciate food. You know, like I'm so jacked up on food because I've been wrestling. Like I'm a crazy foodie and I'm always craving and my head is always wandering towards the next meal because I've been wrestling and dieting and I've been hungry since I was like 7 years old, you know? So, you know, it's yeah, I've been cutting weight and dieting for so long and you know my mind is like wired now to think about food and oh you got to enjoy it now because I can't enjoy it later when I'm going to be dieting for the fights, you know, and I'm in fight camp and I'm eating, you know, like a monk and I'm eating oatmeal and chicken breast and whatnot. So
Skinless.
yeah, skinless of course, yeah, unless you're on keto, but no MMA fighter can really do keto because you need the complex carbs for energy.
Sure.
But but yeah, there's a cool food scene in the Philippines. You know, not just MMA, but food. Yeah, the food scene in Manila and in Baguio is really blowing up. You know, so it definitely makes it harder when I'm back home because Philippine food, it's as itself is not healthy at all.
And it's not
You
friendly
know,
for
like
athletes.
yeah, it's not athlete friendly or really healthy. It's soul food. You know, it tastes damn good. It's amazing. You know, sisig is, oh my gosh, it's some of the best bar food in the world. But yeah, then on top of that, you have all these new restaurants and franchises from the States that are coming over. And yeah, Manila food scene is really blowing up.
And have you been to Singapore and eaten at like the hawker center? The hawker
Yeah,
center?
yeah. I lived in Singapore for 1 year with my wife when I was part of the Evolve Fight team.
So okay, and I hope I'm not taking too much of your time. If you can give me like 10 more minutes, maybe 5 more minutes, if that's cool.
Yeah, we're
All
good.
right.
We're good. Cool. Cool.
All right. So, listeners, viewers, check me on this, Mark. I think Singapore is the biggest hidden gem. And if there's an alien or a fucking giant UFO that lands and says, for food, take me to your leader, you fucking go to Singapore, because that Chinese, Malay, East Indian mix
Oh yeah, yeah,
is like
definitely.
no other. So maybe you
Yeah,
can give your
you're
experience from eating at the hawker centers in Singapore.
no, you're absolutely right. Singapore is just this crazy fusion food pot. All these amazing countries coming together, as you said. Chinese food, Malay food, Indian food. All coming together, and yeah, the food scene in Singapore is amazing. But at the same time, like me coming from Tokyo and growing up in Tokyo, I'm kind of biased. Like I still think Tokyo is number one. Because
You mean overall, or
oh,
stick, or
oh,
street food, or what do you mean?
that's true. That's a good question. I think just overall. I think just overall because I think it's still rated. Tokyo is still rated number one with the most high star Michelin rated restaurants. So that's something in itself there. And there's just so many hidden hole. I mean, as there are in Singapore, but there's so many hidden hole in the wall gems in Tokyo. Like this random place in some alley that has the most amazing ramen or yakitori barbecue. Barbecue skewer sticks. And yeah, they're just all over Tokyo. But definitely, Singapore and Tokyo are up there on my list. But I would have to slightly rate Tokyo. But I'm biased too because I was born and raised there. So
Well,
yeah.
my dad used to, be a restaurateur also.
Okay. Oh, very
And
cool.
and he used to say it, I'll say it in Filipino, but I'll say it in English. He's all the Japanese malinis sila palagi, which he's saying they're always clean.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They're masters of preparation. And my dad, goddamn, he hit it on the nail. He's all, the only Asians that make the proper steak are Japanese. That's why
Yeah. No,
there's
I
an
know.
A5 Wagyu scene, because of the fucking Japanese are so masterful about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. No, you're absolutely right. And that's the thing because Japanese are so meticulous and all about the process, and whatever they do, it's from step by step, that's part of their culture. You have to do it this way, so when they do learn how to let's say they want to master French cuisine because they want to open up a French restaurant, they're going to go to France and they're going to learn from French chefs. And when you eat at that restaurant in Tokyo, when it opens, you're going to be like, if I was French, I would be like, yo, I swear this is made from a French chef back home because this is so authentic and it tastes just like the food from my hometown in France. And then when you look, pull the kitchen door in the back, you see a Japanese guy waving, and it's just that level of perfection and structure and process, and you really gotta respect the culture for that. And I think that's why, in my opinion, one of the reasons why the food scene is the best in Japan and in Tokyo.
Have you tried any steak from Australia?
No, I haven't.
I haven't
Unfortunately,
either.
I haven't been to Australia yet. That's one of the places I want to go in the food scene. And I always watch on Instagram all these crazy burgers, and yeah, makes me hungry.
Well, supposedly they're, for me, number one is New York as far as for the white linen scene and steaks. Peter
Right.
Luger's Keen's Chop House.
Yep.
That's number one. Number two to me is Japan.
Mm.
Hence the term Wagyu, right?
Yep,
A5.
definitely. Yep,
But
yep.
I've been following up on this budding scene in Australia. I think, I don't know because I haven't been to Australia and tried their steak, but their steak seems like a motherfucker, bro. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
it's
sons of bitches with making steak. So I'd love to make it out there. Some more stuff if you don't mind. Like,
yeah, for sure.
I feel like also when it comes to Brazilian culture, for me, I can't do the acai or die, super clean living. I can't do that, but
Right.
for casual trainers, like people who casually train like me, um, is it still better to follow like a super strict diet, or is it okay? Because for me, mentally, I'd rather enjoy life both ways, eat good food and
Yeah,
train.
yeah. I think it really just depends on your goals, because if you want a six pack, for example, you're not going to get that from enjoying food and, being a foodie. You're going to have to be disciplined, and sacrifices are going to have to be made. And the only way like a nice six pack is going to come is from really hard training and a clean diet, especially, but, I'm the same. I'm the same way as you. Like when I retire from MMA, I'm not gonna blow up. I'm not gonna be like have a triple chin or anything. And because fitness is my life, and I like to be fit, and I like to feel healthy and feel energetic and have this mental clarity that comes from eating clean. Without the brain fog that comes after having a huge crappy meal, and falling asleep in the afternoon, and just those crashes. I don't like that, but at the same time, I love food so much. So I'm definitely going to be a little bit heavier, obviously, than I am now. But yeah, I think ultimately it just depends on your goals, and everyone though should just be the right weight, and not get too heavy. Because that's another thing with COVID, right? Like a lot of the people passing and dying have problems with obesity and other health conditions. So it's easy to overeat, and it's easy to go to extremes in today's culture. When things are so easy. Like I love going to Walmart here. Like it's crazy. Like I just wander the aisles at Walmart, and I grab stuff that I can't eat now that I'm gonna eat. Like I'm shipping a balikbayan box back to Baguio, like stuffed with different cereals and candies and things that I can't eat now, but I'm gonna enjoy with my family in Baguio. But yeah, it's so easy to get in that trap, of just going to gas stations and grabbing stuff, and like I remember I was at Walmart like last week, and I was at the checkout aisle, and there was this cookie. I don't know what it was. It was like cookies and cream cluster things. It's like a baggie, like that big, not that big, and it looked good. And the marketing caught my attention, so I picked it up and I looked at the label on the back, because I count my macros, I count my calories. That's how I get down to bantamweight. And I looked at the back. I'm like, yeah, can I fit this in? I'm like, looking at it, and it's 600 calories in this little bag, and I'm just like, how the hell is this? Like 600 calories, that's like a solid chicken and rice meal. Like that's a hefty chicken and rice meal with like a big side of veggies and everything. And it's in this little baggie with, I don't know, maybe like 20 Oreo clusters in it. And that's something that you'd easily
Maybe
eat
fist size at most, right?
Yeah, no, straight up, exactly. And that's something that you would easily, mindlessly eat while you're in traffic. It's there at the checkout counter, so you'll just get it. You'll set it down in the car, and then you'll just like eat it while you're driving in traffic, finger food, and then boom, you've had an extra giant meal, And then if you're gonna have 3 meals that day, and there's your 4th meal, then that's how people gain weight. So, yeah, sorry, we kind of veered off topic there.
Now we're
But
going long form, man. This is cool,
cool.
man. Audience
Yeah,
needs to get
but
to know you, man. Your layers in depth,
yeah. No,
Two
but
more topics, but before that, hopefully
yeah.
I'm not pissing you off here, because
No, you're good.
bro, Lotus of Siam. Once you're done with the fight, it's one of the best Thai food you'll ever have in Vegas.
Really, Lotus of Sight, dude.
I'll
Oh,
email you. I'll email you stuff.
please. Well, here's the funny thing, man. Here's the funny thing. Since I'm such a foodie, right? I made a list of all the places in Vegas that I wanted to go to right after my fight. Giordano's was on there for their deep dish pizza. Amano's was on there for their calzone and Fat Baby. It's like this Fat Baby, they call it. It's pretty crazy. It's like a loaf of French bread, half a loaf of French bread. The inside is carved out, so it's just hollow. And then they pour like pasta and meatballs and like sauce all over the top of it, and it's just standing upright. So you eat pasta out of this hollowed French bread, and then there's just so much sauce that all the bread sucks up all the sauce. So anyway, I had this crazy list of all of these places in Vegas that I wanted to go to after my fight. And then I got this offer. It would have happened if my first fight happened and I fought in Vegas, but I got COVID, unfortunately. And then now plans have changed, and now I'm fighting in Abu Dhabi, and I'm going to fly from Abu Dhabi straight back to Manila. So I won't be able to do my food tripping this trip, but hopefully next fight camp when I come back out here. I definitely got to hit up that whole list and that Thai place. I'll put that on the list.
I don't know if you're comfortable with this. If ever you even just want to have a meal while I'm out in Vegas, there's two spots, or even if I'm not there, there's two spots. One is Joe's Seafood. I'll email you. It's
okay,
in Caesar's Palace.
Okay, cool.
The best stone crab, like the way
Nice,
Americans make it. It's not like very unctuous like the way Asians make it, like chili crab or in coconut milk, like Philippine Chinese style.
Right.
Perfect stone crabs.
Awesome. Do they have a
stone
butter?
Crabs.
What's the sauce? They have like a butter dipping sauce, or?
Sure, but you won't even need that. Like, you know how they say in lechon and Cebu? Oh, no. You don't need Mang Tomas. You don't need vinegar.
Right. No, exactly. It's like, right. It's just the meat is flavored and herbed, and there's enough flavor in it that you don't need a sauce, just like Cebu lechon, exactly.
Sure. And then the Lotus of Siam, this is pretty bold, the best Thai food in the U.S.
Oh, damn. That is a bold statement.
I've been to Thailand and do like Muay Thai camps, like in the 90s.
Yep.
The best Thai food in the U.S. I'll put my money on.
Okay.
May I die right now.
I'm gonna add it to my list, man. Definitely. Yeah. Please email me those two, bro.
I'll email you. Okay.
Awesome.
Since we veered off so much.
Food trip, man.
So why'd you go to 125?
Oh, 135.
135. Why'd you drop to 135?
Yeah, to be honest, it's I feel it's my my strongest weight class, and I feel healthiest and I feel fastest at that weight. You know, yeah, like 145, I've always felt a little bit blown up and a little slow, and 35, I feel the strongest and fastest. It just takes a little bit of diet and discipline to get there. You know, I just have to count my calories and macros, and yeah, it just takes discipline.
Okay. And then to share with the athletes, which I hope it's not too long a question, like what was your experience with COVID like, and how was the recovery process?
Yeah. So I got COVID. UFC has done a great job, by the way, like, spearheading sports during these COVID times, you know, and like I saw it firsthand because I was there during fight week. They actually tested me before fight week. They came to the gym. We did a COVID test, like maybe 10 days out from the fight. I tested negative, and then I checked into the UFC Fighter Hotel on Tuesday, and they tested me right when I checked into the hotel, and then the results were going to come out the following day on Wednesday. And the Fighter Hotel completely closed off to regular public, just for the fighters, and I think there was only one other fighter on my floor, and that I had three rooms, you know, so a room to train in, a room for myself, and a room for my coach, for my coaches. So yeah, UFC did a really good job. They tested me when I checked into the hotel on Tuesday. The results came out the following day on Wednesday, and that's when I found out Wednesday morning that I had COVID. And at that point, I was feeling like a little lethargic and out of it. But I thought, to be honest, I'm like, oh, it's probably just a weight cut. Like, don't be a bitch. It's probably just you're probably just depleted and tired from water loading and you know, cutting out carbs from your diet. So I was thinking it's just a weight cut. But sure enough, it was COVID, and they tested me again to make sure that it wasn't a false positive. And the second test came back positive, which came back at the end of Wednesday. And then, yeah, Wednesday night I went home and had a home quarantine for 10 days. And when I got home, that's when I pretty much got all of the symptoms and I went through everything. I got the I didn't really get a sore throat or crazy dry cough, but I did have pretty much everything else, like super achy body, which you would, get with flu. What else? Sinus, like everything was so congested, headaches and everything in my sinuses, and just everything was so congested and inflamed up here, and and here in my sinuses. What else? And diarrhea. Yeah, pretty much all of the symptoms except for like the heavy dry cough. So I stayed home, ran through it, took all my vitamins, hyperhydrated, and then yeah, on like the 8th and 9th day, I started feeling a little bit better. And then after that, I went out and got a test done, and I was negative. So thank God for that.
Wow. So it's kind of like, I don't know if you're aware of the podcaster and former UFC fighter, Brendan Schaub.
Mm,
He has a podcast called The Fighter and the Kid, and
yeah.
he got COVID, but it seems like athletes or former athletes react at best. It's simple as ABC 1 2 3. Healthy body, you fight viruses
Yeah.
effectively.
No, definitely. And I think that's one of the things that, the media isn't focusing enough on during this pandemic, like
Bingo.
don't stay home and just gain the quarantine 20 pounds or whatever. It happens. It happened to me in Baguio at the start of the quarantine. I did gain some weight, but if you do get the illness, you need to be able to fight it off. Because for me, at least how my body reacted, it was like a very, very, very strong flu. So if I wasn't, in fight training and in fight camp, and my body wasn't so strong, and fit, like I would have definitely had a much harder time handling it. And yeah, it was crappy, man. It's but thankfully, everything's pretty much gone right now, and I'm back to training, and I'm feeling strong. The funny thing, being foodie, you'll probably find this entertaining. I what was it? Oh, the camera went out. We're good. Yeah,
Perfect.
no. Being a foodie, the funny thing that happened was I was at home, and it's, I don't know, maybe the second or third day of my home quarantine, and I'm thinking to myself, I really want to try Five Guys burgers, because I've never tried Five Guys in my life. Like when I was in San Diego for university, I was eating In-N-Out, and it was so delicious, and I love In-N-Out, and I always put In-N-Out up here. I put Shake Shack here, but In-N-Out, because I ate it so much in college, I always put it up here. Just I always get a 4x4 from In-N-Out. That's 4 patties, 4 slices of cheese.
Animal style.
I don't like animal stuff for some reason. I
Ah,
don't. I don't like animal stuff. I don't like mayo and stuff. It's weird. I don't like mayo. I don't like mustard. And I don't like ketchup. I know it's really weird. I can handle a little bit on burgers, but not like an excessive amount.
and was the onions grilled or were they raw?
What's up?
Was the onions grilled or were they raw?
I don't have onions, so I just got a plain
Ah,
4x4 with 4
interesting.
slices of cheese and 4 patties, and that was my college go-to, and that was that was what I always got. I get that. I would get cheese fries with just cheese, and then I would get a strawberry milkshake. So that was my go-to meal. Anyway, when I moved back to Asia after college, I heard about Five Guys, and Five Guys started like building up, and I was like, wow, like these burgers look juicy, and everything I'm seeing on Instagram, like all these 15-second teaser videos, they make it look so damn good, and all these pictures. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to try Five Guys. So I'm sitting at home during COVID quarantine, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try Five Guys because why not? And I was good for this, for all my fight training, and I never had a burger. I'm going to try it right now because, yeah, this sucks just staying at home. So I ordered Five Guys via Uber Eats. They left it outside my door, so there's no contact. I bring it up to my room. I'm super excited. I unwrap it. I take a giant bite of this juicy burger with 2 patties and 2 slices of cheese. Cheese is melting. I bite into it, and I can't taste a thing because of the
Oh,
COVID.
so that's
So,
for real. The lack of
yeah, so
taste is for
that's for
real.
real, man. So it was like my smell and taste just like disappeared on that day. And it was you know, it was just so funny because I've been looking forward to eating Five Guys for like years, and then I finally get it. I order it. It's in my hands, and I take a bite, and I can't taste it. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I guess what they said about COVID is real. And that was exactly when I realized, like, oh wow, you really do lose your sense of smell and taste. Um, yeah, thankfully I got my taste back and my sense of smell back. But there are some people at the gym that I know, and just some friends that have recovered, and they still don't have their smell and their taste like fully back yet. So there's
That's a
some
shame.
lingering things. Yeah, it's a shame. And there's some lingering things with this virus that we just don't understand.
Yeah, and I'm glad I got a chance to interview you and talk about the vast myriad wait, that's so selfish. I'm glad that you're recovered. Let me say that first.
Thank you,
I'm
bro.
glad from observing your whole span of fighting that you're here at the big league. And man, seriously, man, granted it is because I'm half Filipino myself, but I'm one of the fans is gonna be, cheering you on like
Thank you,
fucking
brother.
Manny Pacquiao's mom with a fucking rosary. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, yep. I
It's
appreciate
one
it,
of those
bro.
things where there's something about like people who stay in the game, just relentlessly stay in the game and they push. You're not a normal, oh, I just eat healthy and I do this. You got so much character behind you.
Thank you,
It's
bro.
stereotypically the food all over the research, but at least we got to engage in true consumption of food.
No, no, for sure, man. And yeah, I mean, I love food, man, and it's I guess it's my curse too. It makes the training and the camps more brutal, but then, after I get that W, it makes it all the more sweet, getting to spend time with my family and just eating good food. And Philippine culture is all about family and food and getting together, so I'm definitely looking forward to going back home after. And the holidays, of course, another huge part of Philippine culture. We take our Christmas season very seriously in the
Yeah,
Philippines. We start
Christmas started already,
Christmas
right?
starts right now in the
The Burr
Philippines.
months.
Exactly. Yeah, we got at SM. We were talking about SM. We already got the Christmas music playing, and the lights are out in Baguio. The Christmas lights and the trees are out, and it's only, what is it? It's September. So yeah, well, probably at the end of this month. Realistically, at the end of this month, they'll start putting everything. Yeah, they do it months in advance, man. So it's awesome though, and it's nice. So yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah, maybe hopefully like post fight, once you get to relax, maybe you can do a part two and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
do a
for
long
sure.
form about just Baguio because I feel that's another beautiful place that people don't put on the map. So
Yeah, yeah, no, I should definitely start vlogging some Baguio material, and I guess
do that,
maybe my
man.
maybe my top food eats in Baguio, because there are quite a few now, man. It's a budding new food scene, food hub, because of that new highway from Manila. So definitely should highlight some of those places.
And the festival, isn't there like a flower festival?
Yeah, hey, nice, nice. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's called the Pangabenga Flower Festival, and it's like a 2-week festival, and yeah, a lot of people from outside Baguio travel in. There are a lot of bazaars and booths and new food places that pop up just for the festival, and it's actually a little. That was when I had my first fight in Baguio. The URCC, they would put on their show during that festival, so it was very good timing. And that's probably one of the reasons why I fell in love with the city, because I came up there during an exciting time too, during the flower festival.
Hey, man, you could be the ambassador to that city. I'm telling you. You know how Filipinos like latch on to people who love their city and spot. So do that, man. Well,
No,
Mark,
beautiful
I've
city.
taken a shit ton of your time, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, you're good, brother. Cool, cool. Yeah, yeah, man. Thanks for having me, bro. Appreciate it, man.
And I'll email you what to get in those restaurants. I'll give you 3 just to start off with.
Nice, nice. No, I'll definitely be adding that to my list for the next time I'm out here. So
For
appreciate that.
sure. Take care, brother.
Cool,
Thanks
cool. Thanks,
thanks
bro.
again.
Take care. God
All
bless, man.
right,
Thanks,
you
bro.
too. Thanks.
Yeah.